This week on Did Y'all See, we're talking about the Virginia reporter who took the lives of 2 of his co-workers on camera, the Napa Valley wine train kicking 11 black women off of it, and Dr. Dre's apology. Get into all this tea on Did Y'all See. So, did y'all see during a live broadcast at a Virginia news station, a man, Vester Flanigan, walked into the shot, killed the reporter and the videographer on live television. It was broadcast live. And what's the story behind the story is that Vester said he was the victim of racism at the station. He said that the girl he shot was actually hired to take his place. He filed a report with the EEOC saying that they had mistreated him, and then later it came out that he was gay and he felt like his sexuality was an issue as well. So, I mean, it's a lot to digest either way. So what do you guys make of the story?
It was definitely a tragic situation, and nothing can ever justify what he did. Whether they reported him, whether they were mean to him, whatever. It wasn't his. He shouldn't have taken these people's lives. Mm-hmm. But I do think that working in a predominantly white environment, that racism can take a mental and an emotional toll on you mm-hmm. over time. Like, I don't mm-hmm. think that people realize the way that they treat black people in these settings, like it's rough. Mm-hmm. But like I said before, it doesn't justify what he did.
I think he was just very highly sensitive after all those years of probably working in those environments. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just tragic all around, to be honest. And I think there should be some type of counseling for people who, get terminated from jobs or they get laid off, because it just seems like we're seeing in the news over a course of years that people have a lot of resentment and anger towards corporations, and then they want to lash out on innocent people who really didn't have decision-making power.
I just feel like he just was a lost person, and he also, like you said, he was mentally disturbed, obviously, mm-hmm. for him to be able to break that easily. So I don't like to really bring in the racial aspect of it, because I feel like, to me, I feel like when I watched that video, I was like mortified. Like, I just felt like they did not see that coming whatsoever. And like the woman running for her life and still lost it, like, that's terrible. So I just feel like he lost his mind. He was, and that's it.
I think, I agree with what you're saying, but I think, like you said, people respond differently. I feel like he was already like a fragile person from jump anyway. Like before, if I feel like if nothing happened to him, he would have been very fragile, just because, you're a black man, you're working in a predominantly white station, you're homosexual, you're working as an escort. I think people just, a lot of black people handle racism every day and we just swallow it. Right. But I think there's something to be said about the effects that it has over time. And if you're not mentally sound from beginning, like you could completely just lose it. And I think, and I don't think he should have done that at all. I'm not trying to justify that, but I think people really need to, I don't know, I think racism does more damage than people give it credit for. I think it's a really ugly thing. And I think if you're not sound, you could really come across someone who is not sound, and it could just, I don't know, it can turn really ugly. So, did y'all see white people stay loving to tell black people to be quiet? So anyway, this group of black women, they were a book club. They were on this Napa Valley wine train, made a reservation and everything. And before the train even started really moving, they were kicked off. People complained that they were too loud, laughing too loudly, talking too loudly, and they supposedly asked them to be quiet 3 different times, and on the 3rd time, they kicked them off the train. And not only did they kick them off the train, they had police escorts waiting for them once they got off the train. So the CEO of the train, the wine train or whatever, was like, we're so sorry for this, and we want to extend you a free ride where you can come with 50 people that you know and have the whole car to yourself. But the woman of the leader of the book of the president said she did not accept the apology, because the man told her that, it's just really a shame that we're being portrayed as something we're not in the media. And she was like, okay, so that let me know that he didn't get it. She was like, we were being portrayed as something we weren't when we were kicked off that train. And she said, people keep telling me to forget about it, to let it go, that they've apologized. She was like, but I will never forget about this incident. She's like, it's ingrained in my DNA. And she's like, I will never forget about the first and last time I was on the Napa Valley wine train. Mm-hmm. So, what do y'all think about that situation?
As someone who rides the railroad frequently, Jersey Transit, Long Island Railroad, I don't know what it is about white folks and these trains, but they feel like they have to be the quiet police like every day. I sit and I watch a white person go over to a black person like, excuse me, this is the quiet car. Like, it's just like so ridiculous. Like, how old are we? We all getting off work at the same time. We all stressed out. We all want to get home. Why do you feel like you have to police my volume? The quiet car says keep your voice low. It doesn't say I can't speak at all. Jesus Christ. It's just so frustrating. I can't even get in the quiet car anymore because I'm just like, I don't want to catch a case out in these streets. And then for them to kick that old woman was so up. She was like 80?
80-something years old.
She was like practically like crying when she was getting off of the train because she didn't understand that in 2015, a group of black women can't enjoy themselves and discuss books over some good wine without white folks getting their panties in a bunch. Like, I don't get it. What, like, seriously, what is up with them in trains?
Girl, let me tell you something. This is what Sherang wrote, and I know I'm speaking out of turn, but Sherang said, she was like, back in the day, we used to have to step off the sidewalk, like you mentioned earlier. We have to, lower our eyes and not look at white folks. And, they can't police us like that anymore, but they still trying to find a way to control us and police us. And
minimize
yes. And so it's like, you can be here because we can't legally kick you off of here, but you got to be quiet. You have to do what I say in this space. But it's like, I'm sorry, who drinks wine and is silent unless you falling asleep? Girl.
You know what's crazy too? And I hate to generalize, but white folks be the same ones.
Loud as hell with their friends.
Loud as hell with their friends, but then they have no concept of like personal space.
At all.
On the trains, they be the ones leaning on you, falling asleep, drunk, coming home from the Jets game, breathing on you, coughing on you. But I gotta be quiet. But you won't even respect my damn space.
But at the same token, I just feel like that's an annual tour. I can see why they were upset. It was something that they had planned for a while. And like, it's a wine tour. Like, people drink, and at some point, some people probably get a little tipsy. And I'm not saying that they were, but I'm sure some of the white folks on the train probably get a little loose, and then they start getting loud. And it's just that they, like you said, it's always some kind of way to like kind of minimize your presence in some way or another. And it's like, it just sucks. It just really does. Even, when you wear certain hairstyles, you wear some makeup, do certain things in the office, whatever, it's like, it's too much. It's too, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you be quiet? And it's like, damn, can I live?
No.
And
exactly.
that's what's sad about it. But do I like quiet, when I'm tired and I want to go home? Yeah. But when you're on a wine train, chill out. Or go to another car, or ask for them to be, or can we be in another car, or something like that.
Delivered to your house.
Or be a G about it and go over there and politely ask people, like, do you mind or something? But you trying right.
Very passive aggressive people.
That's why they got the police up there. But it's just disappointing, and it's just tired. If you don't like the noise level, put on some always carry headphones and always just be chill. But this whole concept of like constantly telling people, when we all know in our own way, when we get with our group of people, friends, whatever, white folks, white teenagers, white adults, whatever, we're loud.
Thank you.
It's a ruckus we like to create together. I mean, it's a joyful thing. It's not like we're out here like, yeah, we gonna fuck shit up in here, tear it up. Like,
it's jubilation.
It's just like we're together and we're clowning and that's it. And we'll get off the train eventually. So it's like, or we'll get off whatever eventually. So, or you can get off, whatever you want to do. But just chill out.
So, did y'all see that Dr. Dre apologized for abusing women in his past? We're talking about his baby mama, michel'le. We're talking about Dee Barnes, the journalist and former friend, and even one of a rapper on his label, a female rapper. So, he said, 25 years ago, I was a young man drinking too much and in over my head with no real structure in my life. However, none of this is an excuse for what I did. I've been married for 10 years, and every day I'm working to be a better man for my family, seeking guidance along the way. I'm doing everything I can so I never resemble that man again. I apologize to the women I've hurt. I deeply regret what I did, and I know that it has forever impacted all of our lives. Okay. So he issued the apology, and then on top of that, Apple Music came through and was like, we believe Dr. Dre is a changed man, and it's in his past. Which is kind of like, okay, Apple Music go home with Dr. Dre every night, y'all. They know he's changed. So Dee Barnes, who's the journalist that he beat up, responded first and was like, I don't want to look into the intention behind it. I just hope that he meant it, and I hope he is changed. But she said, the whole thing is just a general conversation we need to be having in general. So she said it was just bigger than her. michel'le was like, that was insincere. And she's like, it's just a good PR move. So what do you guys think about the apology? Do you think it was genuine? Do you think he should do more? How do you think? What do you think?
I think that Dr. Dre could have definitely changed. That was a very long time ago, and it's possible that he got his life together. I don't know how I feel about public apologies, especially when you've wronged individuals, because I just feel like if you were sorry, you would go to those people and try to make it right, and not just say sorry so that people don't start boycotting Beats and Apple, but say sorry because you're genuinely sorry for the, the harm that you've inflicted on these people. So when the apology came out, because I wasn't really like riding so hard, like let's bash Dr. Like even before he apologized, like I wasn't on that wave, because I was like, it's possible that he has changed, but I don't know. I feel like these public apologies are like really like fake and phony a lot of times, and they're just trying to avoid a Change.org petition. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even read it because I don't know. I didn't read it because 2 years ago, that's when michel'le became really, really public about her story. And that's because, when she was on R&B Divas, all her castmates really wanted her to get help because she's a very troubled individual based on the events that have occurred in her life. So that's why I just didn't even read it, because you should have personally apologized to her, because she even told about earlier this year that they have not spoken and only just now he's had some sort of reconnection with his son. They're in the studio together. So it just seems like strange. It seems strange, and it just seemed like it was all swept under the rug, kind of.
I don't really know what they expected when they came out publicly. People say, oh, this is a PR move, or his apology was a PR move, and it's kind of like, well, was you talking about what happened to you kind of like a PR move when this movie came out? So to me, it's like nobody's really, to me, 100% genuine in their approach about this whole situation. I think michel'le, like you said, talked about what she went through in the past. And yeah, okay, that's, that should have been the time that he should have stepped up and did something and said something. But I just feel like when everybody comes out the woodwork, when somebody is like, doing well or something, and they have all this to say, I just don't feel like you're sincerely coming straight for it because you want to say, I was wrong and you all shouldn't support this person. I think in a way you come forward also because you want people to see you, and you want people to like be like, oh yeah, michel'le, oh yeah, Dee Barnes, because Dee Barnes was saying that she hasn't worked because of whatever. So you never know what people's true intentions are. I think all of this happened a long time ago, and when I see him, I just feel like he's a much more mellow person. So I feel like in a way he probably could have changed, and he did need to apologize to them a long time ago. But I mean, I just feel like this is what comes, like when people come after people publicly, based on whatever they have going on, then they respond publicly because that's just what it is,
Do you feel like these people, like, the media outlets sought these people out? I feel like they sought out Dee Barnes. They sought out michel'le. Like, what do you think? Because michel'le, like we said, she's been talking.
She's been talking about this.
But, like, Dee Barnes, like, she wasn't out here really saying much.
But the thing is, what happened is that, to me, my whole thing about it is, I feel like if they had addressed it in the movie, we would not be having this discussion. Because it's just like, address it in the movie, put it out there, and then it's out there. But, like, Dr. Dre and Dee Barnes have been doing interviews about this incident since the 90s. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so I don't think she was just coming out now that he's a billionaire in the industry. Like, she's been talking about this. She took him to court for it and everything. And there was a point where he was just basically acknowledging and saying he didn't care. So I think when you're putting out a biopic, and I know that I had an instrumental role in that particular part of your life, if you acknowledge it, then we're good. Like, it was acknowledged, it's out there. But when you don't acknowledge it, and you come out at the end of the movie looking like a hero, like you ain't never did nothing, then I'm gonna feel away. That's it for this episode of Did Y'all See? For more videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/MadameNoire.